And we welcome you to the Dale With It podcast this week. There's no silly names or anything this week, as we are reporting with heavy hearts with the loss of Justin Wilson, but we shall continue going on in his memory. I'm Matthew, as always. Who the hell are you people?
I'm Riley.
Good to have you
Uh,
back.
I am Matt L.
Yep, brought Matt back on again because Colin couldn't be here and we liked him, so welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
So before we get into anything, you're probably wondering why we're going on a Friday. Well, that's because AT&T is awful in every single way and shut my Wi-Fi off for no reason right before we went live on Wednesday. So yeah, that's why that didn't go off. So yeah, so we're doing it today now. Yeah, don't get AT&T's home internet because it's freaking terrible. So yeah, anything else you guys want to rant about before we start?
Not really.
All
Yeah,
right. Anyway, a little bit of weekly news before we get going. It's been a really, really slow news week. Anheuser-Busch switching Kevin Harvick sponsorship from Budweiser to Busch. That's really the only big news this week. I mean, I have a list of like 6 or 7 things, but that's the only thing that's significant.
Yeah.
But somebody said this is the first time there won't be a Budweiser sponsored car since like 1983, something like that.
Jeez.
So that's gonna take some getting used to.
Yeah. And you never know. Budweiser might sign with someone else.
Well, I mean, it's not like the sponsorship's going anywhere else. It's the same sponsorship money. They're just showing a different logo on the car.
Yeah.
Mm.
So would that
Although I still
change the
think,
blue and everything?
yeah, I still think though Bush should sponsor Kurt Busch because it's perfect. Yep.
Yeah.
Other news: J.J. Yaley and Jeb Burton have officially switched rides at BK Racing, although nobody really cares because one of them's still going to finish 35th every week. So
Or worse.
yeah, or Ward Burton will fail to make the race half the time, or Jeb Burton. Sorry, it's early. I'm tired. Don't judge me. Um, Jeffrey Earnhardt making his debut in the number 32 at Richmond. So that's pretty neat. Levine Family Racing has considered racing full-time, although just considering is a different thing than actually racing, so.
Yeah, I think here a couple of years ago they were also considering about running full time, and they didn't do it.
Yeah, take that how you will. The Tony Stewart trial's been moved to federal court, so that's awesome. Only good things can come out of that.
Yeah.
I'm heavy sarcasm for those of you who can't tell. This thing needs to just go away already.
Yeah.
We already talked in depth about that, so. There's been more throwback schemes revealed, but my internet's going too slow, so I can't freaking show anybody any of them. But Dale Earnhardt Jr., Josh Wise, Sam Hornish, Landon Castle, Jeb Burton, Trevor Bayne, and Eric Almirola have all officially revealed their paint schemes since we last were on the air. So if I can get that live, I will be able to show you it, but AT&T is freaking terrible and should go burn in a hole.
Did you say Martin Truex Jr.?
No, Almirola.
Yeah, Martin Truex Jr. released one this morning.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah, but I don't know what it's throwing back to.
Let me see.
I saw it on Instagram.
Huh. I'll have to take a look at that.
Yeah.
As you can tell, we are fully prepared. God, my internet is so freaking slow.
When I saw Trevor Baines,
Um,
I was like, oh my god,
yeah,
that is
Trevor Baines is amazing. If
yeah.
only I could show you. What was I going to?
Well, what season was that from? Was
Uh, it's from the '98 season. Yeah, 1998. The
okay,
Flying
so
V scheme.
yeah.
Oh my God, this is going so slow. I'm not even loading a picture. I'm just trying to load a goddamn forum. Can't see it, AT&T, but I'm flipping you off right now because you're awful. And I hate every single person who works for your company.
Hey, I work for them.
Yeah, fuck you, Riley. Anyway, are you sure about them releasing a throwback? I can't find anything about it.
I'm well. Here, let me check on Instagram one more time because I think one person said they didn't confirm it, but I think another person said they did, and I don't know. It here, just a sec. Instagram will load.
Yeah, I didn't see anything pop up on my feed today.
On Instagram?
Yeah,
Are you following Marlo's Cup Series?
I'm not.
Well, just a sec. Mind. Come
Let's
on.
see.
Oh, I guess Joey Logano just released a Darlington scheme as well. And that is sick.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
That's definitely. That doesn't even look real. I'm pretty sure that's an Inter 2003 fictional.
What, Logano?
Yeah.
You think?
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah.
well, Truex's scheme,
Hmm.
it's like, it shows the Furniture Row is blue, Denver
Yeah,
Mattress
I'm
and
looking at that right now.
yeah.
Here, I'll try to find this for people. Yeah, that Joey Logano car looks like an Inter 2003 fictional.
I don't know. It could be. I know what you mean.
Well, for one thing, it just says Penske on the quarter panels, and it says there's a watermark in the bottom right corner that says DK Design.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Pretty sure that's fake. Here, I will screen share it because I just found it. This does not look real. Maybe I'm wrong, but we'll see. Yeah, that that looks like it's painted on Inter 2003.
Yeah, I
It
know
could
what you
be
mean.
real, yeah, but I don't know. As
Yeah.
for this, wow,
Uh,
so different than the normal scheme.
I know a fan, if any of you guys know Napa fan. I know Matt L does. Uh, he had in one of his seasons he had a Joey Logano fictional car that looked kind of similar to that car.
Yeah, yeah, that doesn't look real at all. I'm pretty sure, yeah, that is painted on the Bullring 2015 mod.
It kind of what car would it be throwing back though?
That's one of Bobby Allison's old cars.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Anyway, back to real throwbacks. The Flying V, although now it's a Flying A scheme for Trevor Bayne, which is awesome. And if you're watching Ian, it's from '98, not 2000. So, where was the other one at? As you can see, we are so prepared. Um, where are? Jesus, they're here somewhere. Don't judge me. Here's the 43. I mean, what were we? I mean, doesn't look any different. Well, it does look different, but not too different from any of the other STP cars.
Yeah.
Where? Yes, the Tide Ride is back. There's the one I was looking for.
Yeah.
Josh Wise went from the Doge car to the Tide Ride, and it's awesome.
Beerfrost.com.
Yeah, dude. There was one more. Jeb Burton's, which is
Oh
amazing.
yeah, and Jeb Burton is pretty sick.
Yeah. Too bad it'll probably crash. Landon Castles, which is a Sterling Marlin throwback. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Goddamn Petty Swoosh. Ruining a good scheme. But whatever. And then I think there was one more that we haven't showed yet. Oh, Juniors yet.
Oh yeah.
Except nobody's posted it in this forum yet, I don't think. Anyway, Juniors is a retro throwback to Valvoline. If you haven't seen it yet, you've been living under a rock. So,
Is it Kaylee?
anyway,
Wasn't it Kaylee Arbros?
there's like 8 different people who drove that exact scheme.
Yeah.
Yeah. And did I get everybody? I did. And then finally, Formula One to test closed cockpits, or at least they said they were going to, on their cars in wake of the Justin Wilson accident. So there's been a long thread on sim racing design about people debating optimal topics, and I figured that's what we'd talk about this week. Maybe where IndyCar could go with safety, and if you guys want to talk about that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I figure we jump straight into the topic and then do the race review later. So.
All right.
Yep. So there's been a lot of people pitching ideas out there. The most common one, obviously, is like a glass canopy to go over the top, but there's dangers with that, with fires and let's say it becoming damaged and not opening or whatever. But what do you guys think would be a good solution to this problem? I mean, it doesn't even have to be canopies. It can be like uh, the way the cars break apart or whatnot. But
Matt, do you want to touch up on your opinions first?
Yeah, sure.
all right, go
Um,
ahead.
I think what they should do, have like two metal bars that connect from the front wing, I guess, all the way to the back where the stabilizer is if you flip. So then a big object like a tire or debris that would normally hit your head is going to hit the bars instead. But it's big enough in the middle that you, the driver, could still hop out in case of a fire.
Yeah, that is actually a really good idea, I think.
Yeah, somebody had an idea on sim racing design. I've got a picture of it right here, where it was similar to that, where it's not a fully closed canopy, but it's sort of a cage with a glass sheet on it on the front, and then it unlatches at the back and hinges forward.
Hmm.
And so, you still get the airflow through the car. It's still easy to get out. You don't have to worry about a fully closed cockpit, but it protects the driver.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And you can also look at these cars throwing debris. Like somebody brought up a point of comparing the way Indy car crashes to when like the front wing failed on Nico Hulkenberg's car at the Hungarian Grand Prix, where it just kind of shattered into a million small pieces instead of a bunch of big ones. But you can argue whether that's a bigger safety risk or not, because something as small as a tiny spring almost killed Felipe Massa. So
Yeah.
it's just there doesn't seem to be an optimum solution, and hopefully there's no knee-jerk reactions to this. Anything to add?
Not that I can really think of.
All
Just,
right.
I do think the bars would be a good idea.
Yeah. I mean, I
Well,
think canopies could work, but they need to be obviously need to be done the right way.
yeah.
But obviously, driver safety should always be the first priority when developing a race car. So
Yeah.
truly is a shame that we've had to lose a driver, but like I was saying, hopefully any of the future safety advancements that come from this save more lives. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And they probably will think of something, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it was just it's one of those things where it's a freak accident. There's not really much you can do, but
Yeah,
with all the accidents in the last previous years of people being hit with debris or Jules Bianchi's accident, that you know something's got to change.
yeah.
Well, anything to add?
Not that I can think of,
No.
no.
Now, on the topic of Justin Wilson, I would say we could do kind of a Justin Wilson tribute um, podcast, but I haven't really followed IndyCar until the last couple of years, so he was never really on my radar until recently. I know you, Riley, made a tribute video about him, though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So, just a great person on and off the track, as we've all heard, somebody who truly just enjoyed and loved racing, and unfortunately, we've had another fatal accident. I will say I'm glad I did not see it live. I was watching the race and then I turned it off about halfway to go somewhere, and then I found out when I got home about what happened. So
yeah. I was watching the race, and I can't remember, was Sage Karam leading the race whenever it happened?
yeah,
Yeah, when
which
it,
was especially tough because Pocono is his home track too.
yeah. And, well, we were just getting ready to go for a bike ride, and I said, just like a couple laps to go, so like I went out and I forget if I got a drink or something. I came in, I saw a replay of Sage Karam spinning, and I was just like, oh yeah, it's one car wreck. Good thing no one got hurt. Then I went back out. Then I came back in and saw the ambulance, and then I saw the replay, and I was like, jeez.
Yeah,
I was expecting him to live, really, but
yeah. But when they announced that they were doing a press conference at 9 out of nowhere, it wasn't going to be a good sign.
yeah,
Yeah, because I mean something that late at night and just a random press conference,
yeah,
it's not going to be saying, yeah, he's all right.
yeah,
Yeah. So truly is a shame, and we will move on in his memory. And we hate to see people go like that, but if it's hopefully, like I said, more safety advancements come through to save more lives. Anything to
yeah,
add, Matt?
Um, Not really, I guess, but like you said, he was like a pretty good driver. And he only had like 120 starts. As old as he was, like 37, it wasn't that he was like racing forever. This guy was kind of just like coming into his prime. He got sixth place finish, whole season 2013, 3 wins. He was really getting it working.
Yeah, I do
yeah,
remember because I go back. If you've never heard of, it's now gone, but this website called F1 Rejects. But you can go through the Wayback Machine and read all of like websites that are down now. Um, they used to do review. They'd review every Grand Prix and every season or whatever. And I've been going through and reading like the season previews and reviews from like 2001 to 2003. And Wilson raced in I think 2002 or 2003 for in Formula One for Minardi. And it's funny talking about how it might be difficult for him because he was so tall, and
mm,
most like open wheel race car drivers are short because the better obviously so they can balance the weight of the car better. But Wilson was like 6'3", something like that, and so he would not only barely fit in the car anyway, but then it would be even more difficult because there'd be more weight to the nose. And
yeah,
he was always the classic underdog, everyone's second favorite driver, I guess you could say. And
yeah,
truly is a shame that it always seems like the brightest stars are the ones we always tend to lose. But we will move on in Justin's memory. And Tony Kanaan summed it up perfectly when his wife asked him, why he was still racing. And it was, nobody's holding a gun to my head and making me do this, but it's simply because they can't live without it.
yeah,
Racing is it's a passion, and you can't really fault somebody for going out there and risking it for something they truly love like that.
yeah.
Yep.
And what you were saying there, whenever he's really how he's so tall and whatever. Uh, in my tribute video, I had a clip of him race or a warm up lap, I believe, practice or qualifying something for Minardi in Formula One, and yeah, you could tell he's pretty tall from that video. His head was,
Yeah, he sticks out pretty far out of the car.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Well, do we have anything to add on this topic?
Nope, I don't know. Not that I can think
All
of either.
right. I was gonna say we could move into the race review, but I missed all 3 races, so yeah, that's fun. Did you guys at least watch any of the Bristol races?
I watched in Cup. Unfortunately, I didn't get the channel for trucks, but
Yeah. Yep, I had to work during the Cup race and the Xfinity race. I think I was gone. And then the truck race, did
okay.
I work? I think I worked. Yeah, I worked when the truck race was on. So, yeah, I pretty much got to see nothing this week. Yep. What about you, Matt?
I saw the Cup, the Xfinity, and I like started the truck, but then I was watching the Little League World Series, so I turned it off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I was at work and one guy was watching the Little League series, and I was like, oh, hey. Yeah. I was like, those kids are pretty big for 12-year-olds. I mean, I was like 4'3" when I was 12. Not really. I was taller than that, but yeah, you get the point.
4-4.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. So, other than, I'm surprised I only got one pick right when I said Kyle Busch was going to win Xfinity and trucks.
Yeah.
And without Chris Buescher running out of gas, I think Kyle Busch would not have won anything.
Oh my frig, that was so dumb. I was gonna say something else, but it was dumb.
Meanwhile, that's why Colin's not here, is he's still partying from Kyle Busch winning another minor league race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was at Warren's, and his dad's a Kyle Busch fan, and we were watching it there. It was like the last 40 laps or whatever, and then Buescher was leading out in front of Kyle Busch, and Warren and I were both saying, Kyle Busch won't get by, and then they were talking about how fuel mileage was in concern and whatever, and
You were like, no, shh, don't say
yeah,
that. Stop it.
yeah.
Don't take this from me, please.
And then a stupid caution came out, and oh my gay, and then freaking Kyle Busch takes the lead, and then Warren's dad was like, I think this is Kyle Busch's best win, and I was like, why? And he said, I said why, and he said because you were here to see it.
Oh my god.
I was just like, shut up.
Do you know how much skill it takes to have the guy in front of you run out of gas?
Really?
See, I'm still in celebration mode over Regan Smith winning at Mid-Ohio, so yeah. I'm just going to pretend like Bristol didn't happen. It's fine. Colin's not here. We can talk shit about Kyle Busch.
Yeah. Kyle Busch, he's done.
Yeah.
He
Almost as
sucks.
dumb as his fans.
Oh!
Disclaimer, not all Kyle Busch fans are dumb. Anyway, just Colin. Yeah. Anyway, Cup race. Obviously, I missed that too. What do you guys think?
It was boring. I didn't like it.
Yeah, New Bristol kind of sucks.
Yeah.
They grinded down the top groove, so now there's more grip there, so everybody runs the top. So they need to grind down the bottom to even it out, so we can get Old Bristol back. So, oh, there, you're doing construction.
Yeah. I dropped the water bottle.
Oh yeah, that will happen. What other than did anything even happen in the Cup race? Because there's no highlights on YouTube.
Barely anything.
Yeah, I know Reagan spun. And that was about it.
Yeah. David Ragan and Boy were both running extremely well. Both were well inside the top 10, and then
Yeah, don't
Johnson,
remind me.
And Johnson wrecked Dragon, and then spun out Boyer, and then and Boyer did rebound. I believe he finished 5th. I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jimmy Johnson's just trying to speed up the inevitable death of Mike Waltrip Racing. So, fortunately, there's two people still employed by them who need to bring the car home. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Damn it, Jimmy. You're better than this. Or at least I assume you're better than this.
Well, Hendrick's been on a slump lately.
I know, they have been so ridiculously off. And not just Casey Kane.
Yeah.
Because when Casey Kane's, like, not really the worst, or is, you know, it's hard to explain, but when he's not the worst person on your team, then there's something wrong. I totally had something clever to say. Oh, I just remembered something that we forgot to mention in the news. There's been rumors going on inside Hendrick that they might swap crew chiefs around, and Jimmy Johnson and Chad Knaus could no longer be together, which doesn't make any sense to me.
Yes. Maybe Gordon will get Knaus. Screw Gus.
Yeah, 2 races before he retires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gustafson,
Well, I think
gay.
Gustafson is just not. I don't know why Hendrick has kept him around for so long. He is not a good crew chief.
I don't know what it was whenever Gordon got Gustafson at first. They were so well together back in 2011.
Yeah.
Like, they won 3 races that season. They were a really dominant team. And then, well, obviously last year, everyone knows that last year with Gordon, how well he ran.
Yeah,
But-
Gustafson is so hit or miss. Like, if you look at his time with Mark Martin, they had one good year together.
Yeah.
And then 2010 and 2011, they were just incredibly disappointing. And then even with his time with Kyle Busch, like, they were never able to put consistency together.
Yeah.
I don't know what. At least he's not Lance McGrew, I'll say that.
McGrew was horrible.
He was the worst. Ugh. Any other things to add to the race? Because I didn't see it, and I'm contributing nothing.
Gordon had a very up and down night.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He drove the rainbow car.
Yeah. Well, he started 23rd, 24th down there, and did move his way up inside the top 10. He was running like second at one point, and then this was with like 100 to go. He was like 6th or 7th, and then loose wheel comes down pit road, gets it fixed, comes back out, another loose wheel, has to go back down again, finishes like 4 laps down. I blame Gustafson.
Jeff Gordon's crew is pretty bad, too.
Yeah, especially this year.
Well, just go back to Texas last year when he got spun by Keselowski, and they're like, what, the left sides are flat? Let's change the right sides and then lose a lap.
Yeah.
And they all just stand around like, oh, we don't know what to do. Like, dude, fix the goddamn car, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
That was frustrating to watch.
Well, I remember here a couple of years ago, that must have been 2010 maybe. Remember how they used to have the best pit crew of the year they would show every race? Like the points?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Gordon always used to be, like they used to show like the top 3 or top 4. Gordon used to always be inside that.
Yeah. Now I think they have the same speed, but they just forget to put things on or do them right.
Well, that was also around the time where I remember Gordon Johnson switched teams that race.
It is true, yeah.
Yeah,
Damn it, Jimmy.
that was a slick move though. That was good.
See, so I'm on a lot of forums for NASCAR, and it's funny to see. Like, I like Jeff Gordon. He's never been my favorite, but I like him. And just the constant bitching of people like, oh, God, the season sucks. Everything's terrible for Jeff Gordon. I'm like, just give it time.
What?
And so at this point, I'm so bitter from people complaining about Jeff Gordon so much that I want him to lose now. Like, just the cynical part of me. And so when they're like, God, the season's terrible, Jeff Gordon's running 13th, and I'm like, yeah, how do you think I feel from 2009 to 2011? Shut your goddamn mouth. Can you say not even cracking the top 20 in points? No, so shut up. And then the cynical part of me comes out. At this point, I'm just like, I'm actively rooting against a driver I like, just so you can be like, now you know how it feels. There's a part of me hoping that Jeff Gordon misses the chase this year just so NASCAR will give him a special 17th spot. That, or they just give him a fifth spot in the Final Four. Like, he doesn't even have to do the first 3 rounds of the chase, he just automatically gets into the Final Four.
Shut up.
I want that to happen. Just so the NASCAR community can implode and. Oh, it would be fantastic.
NASCAR would lose so many fans.
Oh, it'd be great. Yes, but they please the Jeff Gordon fans, Riley. Why are you complaining? You're a Jeff Gordon fan.
Yeah, but I don't want NASCAR to go in the hole.
Don't you want to see the drive for 5?
I suppose.
Yeah, see? You
It
can't
will
resist.
happen, but...
Next year, you'll get them.
Oh, yeah. Well, let me think
Yeah.
about it. I was reading... Do you remember a couple episodes ago when Colin was talking about how drivers... how old they will be in, like, 2020 or so?
Yeah, yeah.
I read something about that on Facebook, and yeah, he's got a point there.
Yeah.
If you look at it, a lot of NASCAR drivers could be retired by 2020, like big names. And then
Well,
you'll have,
that's like Jamie McMurray said he doesn't plan on racing much after 40, and he's 39 this year. Actually, no, I think he turns 40 this year.
yeah,
And Matt Kenseth's getting up there in age, like we were talking about.
and Biffle's like 45.
Yeah. One thing, I don't know if I said this on the show or not. One thing that I heard was Tony Stewart was considering retiring at the end of this year, but NASCAR was like, yeah, we can't afford to lose 2 superstar drivers in the same year, so we kind of need you to stay. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I also heard that he could retire after next year.
Yeah, I think it's after next year he'd retire. But
Yeah.
there was a lot of rumors that he'd retire this year, and it's like, nope, never mind. Yeah.
Well, people are thinking that we may have touched up on this last week when we were talking about Boyer and whatever, but people think Boyer's going to do what Casey Kane did there a couple of years ago. Boyer might go with H. Scott Racing,
Yeah, that's what I've heard a lot.
and then run with Stewart in 2017 after, if say Stewart retires after next year.
Oh, there. Take it down a notch. Yeah, that's what I've heard a lot, is
Yeah,
that Tony Stewart wanted Boyer to drive next year, but can't because, Tony's still driving, so.
just
Yep.
fire Harvick. Like, oh my God, you know how
Yeah,
bad
you don't need
Harvick
that
is?
guy.
Yeah, he sucks.
You need Danica, though.
Yeah.
Jeez. Oh, speaking of which, I totally forgot to mention this. Kurt Busch is already engaged again.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was like,
Is he
didn't
really?
you? Yeah. I was like, didn't you just break up with that chick that you may or may not have punched in the face?
Wow.
Yeah. I'm just kidding, by the way. She seems pretty crazy, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, back on topic though. For the listeners, I am not implying that Kurt Busch punched her in the face, even though that's exactly what I said. Yeah, that little disclaimer there. Anything else to add about the race?
Not really. It was a boring race. I had Warren over that night, and my brother had a couple friends over, so we were downstairs playing Call of Duty most of it.
Yeah, I was at work. And I was like, I could watch the stream on my phone, but my service here is terrible. Or I could just do dishes, so. Yeah.
I thought the race was it was really good if you're a Logano or Harvick fan because the entire race was like them back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've watched a little bit of their battle of Harvick hunting down Logano, and that was entertaining enough, but I was like, I don't know
Yeah.
if that would have been entertaining for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it started out Kyle Busch leading for I don't know how long. He led for a long time, and then it was Kyle Busch got a penalty, I believe, and then Hamlin came out in front. I believe it was Hamlin after that, or maybe it was Logano, and then Hamlin got it after him. But anyways, and then yeah, towards the end it was Logano and Harvick battling pretty
Yeah.
much.
Speaking of Denny Hamlin, he has been like the most inconsistent driver I've seen this year. Like they show those moments of brilliance, you're like, yeah, these guys should be championship contenders, and then they
Yeah,
back it up with finishing like 28th.
I know. Like I forget what track it was, but coming into that race, I was like, oh yeah, Hamlin's good here. He might win. And then he finished. He was like running like 26th or something the whole race, and I was like, what the heck?
Yeah,
It may have been. No, I
it's
don't.
it's funny because at the start of this year when Gibbs was kind of struggling, he was the one guy who was running good, and you're like, yeah, Denny could be good, once Gibbs gets better, and then everybody else got better, but he's still running exactly the same. You're like, oh,
Yeah,
I stand corrected. And it was funny because at the beginning of this year on one of the forums, we were having a debate, and I was like, I think Denny Hamlin is one of the most underrated drivers. He's
yeah,
never had a winless season. He's made the chase all but once in his career. I was like, I think he is a very talented driver and probably one of the best at Gibbs. And then he's been clearly the worst driver at Gibbs for the last few months. And I'm like, well, now I look like an idiot. Yeah.
I don't know. He. I know what you mean, where he's been up and down the whole
Yeah.
season. But at the start of the season, I was like, I think Carl Edwards is going to win the championship.
Yeah.
And then it took him forever to get a top 10. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
was like, what? Yeah, his second top 10 was his win at Charlotte.
Yeah.
And that was, yeah, he got a top 10 at Texas, and then, yeah, Charlotte, and then it kind of went all right after that. And now he's got a good string of consistency lately, and I wouldn't mind seeing him be the champion, obviously, if Gordon doesn't win it. I wouldn't mind seeing him, but
Yeah. If he's going to win the title, though, he's got to step it up because, there's the way I see it, there's about 10 cars that are faster than him on a weekly basis.
yeah.
So I think since it's 2 weeks from now, we're going to have to start doing chase grids to
Hmm.
decide. So obviously we'll have to come up with that.
Yeah.
We discussed our final fours, but I think that's changed since then because I think I had Johnson in my final four. The way they're running right now, I would not have Johnson in my final four.
Yeah.
I would definitely have Logano back in now.
I
Um,
don't.
Logano's won two in a row, hasn't he?
No.
Or no, two of the last three. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
never mind.
if you think about it, before so before Kenseth won Pocono, Kyle Busch won three in a row, right?
Yeah.
And then it was it Junior at Daytona?
No, Junior at Daytona was the race before that streak started.
Yeah, and then Kyle Busch won at Sonoma before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's been four winners in the last
2 months, something like that.
9 races.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, I mean, for a while, uh, between Kyle Busch and Kenseth, it was like all Gibbs for like a month and a half.
Yeah.
I was like, make it stop, please. Yeah. I want to see somebody new win.
I didn't mind seeing Kenseth win there a couple times, but
Yeah.
Busch, no. If maybe Edwards and Hamlin were to get another win, that'd be all right. But like, I don't mind Gibbs. Oh my god, I can't even spit it out. I enjoyed seeing them run well, but
Yeah. I like a
it
couple
was
of their drivers, but their paint scheme department sucks. I'll always say that.
really.
Oh, God.
I like
They're
all
like,
of
oh, they've produced some good schemes, but the one that still irritates me is they're like, well, what's Brian Scott's paint scheme going to be? All black.
them.
Or Kyle Busch's monster scheme. Let's just go all black too.
Hey, it has green on it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. The monster logo. It just seems like whoever's in charge of the designing their schemes is like, all right, I got the base color down, and I'm done.
Same with Logano's old Home Depot car from like
Yeah,
2000.
yeah, exactly. Like they start out with a decent scheme, and they're like, all right, what are we gonna do for a car this year? You're like, we're gonna paint it all orange,
Yeah.
down to the skirts.
Yeah.
It's like,
Take take away that nice white and orange car that they had in 2009, and then
yeah.
put you on it.
Oh, I need to find this picture, but have you ever noticed how the base scheme on Matt Kenseth's car is slowly disappearing?
The base. What do you mean?
Like the paint scheme on this Dollar General car.
What do you
Like
mean?
every year it gets smaller and more minimal. Here, I'll show you. Somebody did a little picture showing it. I'm finding it right now.
All right.
So when it debuted in 2012, it was like a full-fledged paint scheme, and this year now it's a line.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Here, I got it. Second.
All right.
So you can see we started with a full paint scheme, okay? And then it shrunk down a little bit, and we lost the bit on the nose. And then it got even smaller last year. And now it's that. Is
I can't see anything.
it not working?
Oh, there I see it now.
Yeah. Yeah, see? It's been
Uh,
getting slowly smaller, and then to that. So next year, we'll have just like a little black line along the top of the skirt, and then after that, it'll just be solid yellow.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's weird.
The car is just like eating itself. Man, I don't know how we're going to stretch this show to a half hour, or for a full hour. We're just bullshitting at this point. 'Cause there's nothing to talk about this week.
Going going back to the Bristol race, did you guys or what did you guys think of Justin Allgaier getting 12th?
Awesome, because he got a top 10 in the first race this year at Bristol, so
It's true.
Yeah.
yeah.
He was solid.
The the 51 team has been strong on the short tracks and the road courses this year. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Even sometimes at the 2 milers.
yeah. That's why I'm hoping if Boyer does land there, he'll bring some money and some experience to that team, because there's a lot of potential in that team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, just replacing it.
Yeah, I like Michael Annette, but he has been hopeless this year.
Yeah. Did
So-
anyone ever notice? I saw this on, maybe it was Instagram. Did anyone ever notice that H. Scott Racing has both Days of Thunder numbers?
Yeah, somebody pointed that out when they first revealed the 46. And then Annette's running a throwback scheme this week, and originally it had the Days of Thunder style 46 on it, but they changed that.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
Yeah.
Why did they change it?
I think it had something to do with the fact that their car had nothing to do with Days of Thunder.
Oh,
But I would have loved if they would have showed up with the 2 Days of Thunder paint schemes. That would have been awesome.
yeah, it would be.
Yeah. So, now if only they could get the 18, they'd have the full trio of Days of Thunder cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His name Russ Wheeler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Cole Trickle, Rowdy Burns, and Russ Wheeler.
Yeah.
I have that movie on DVD up here.
I
There's a
have it
funny
on-
story about that. What was that?
I have it on VHS.
Oh God. What's funny about that is the grocery store right next to my house. They have like a little bargain box full of like DVD classics, and every day for like 3 months when I went in there, or not every day, but every time when I went in there, they had Days of Thunder in there for like $3, and I was like, nah, I'll get it next time. Like I kept putting it off, and then I went in one day and it was gone, and I was like, okay, now I have to go find it. And so then I went out to some other place and I bought Days of Thunder.
Oh my. Yeah, you were telling me that once before.
Yeah. Yep. Days of Thunder is great. It's super cheesy and unrealistic, but I love it.
Yeah. And speaking of Days of Thunder, if I know I've told you before, but for my Martinsville race, I'm planning on having the Days of Thunder theme song for.
Yes.
As long as it's not copyright.
I hope not.
Yeah.
I know that is such a ridiculous movie, but I love it. What was I gonna say? Right, NASCAR racing. Bristol. We haven't even mentioned the truck race. I don't think anybody here watched it, did they?
I didn't watch. Yeah, because I have the channel.
Yeah. Matt?
No, I didn't really.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
Something happened. I don't even remember who won.
Ryan Blaney. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Cole Custer got wrecked while he was leading. Oh.
Yeah.
Joe Nemechek's son got third.
Yeah.
Yeah. John Hunter's a solid driver. I really like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could be an upcoming star as well.
Yeah. He's one of those guys that nobody really seems to mention, but he's pretty good. So.
Yeah.
He is pretty good.
Matt L. Tell Matt your idea of a topic.
Oh yeah. It was we could do like drivers that I guess failures. Like they would have been good. So
Oh, that is a good topic. Yeah.
to
Like
like
biggest.
describe. Yeah. So it would be like the drivers that Joe Nemechek sees when he drives.
So yeah, like biggest disappointments or
Yeah.
busts. That's a good
Timmy Hill.
topic.
Yeah.
The first two that come to mind are Casey Atwood and Reed Sorensen for me.
Yeah, like Casey. I think with Casey Atwood, he just was brought up way too early.
Yeah, Atwood was hyped to ridiculous amounts, and then he never really amounted to anything.
Yeah, but same with Logano. Maybe wasn't hyped as much, but he was brought up way too early.
Yeah, Logano, if it were not for Penske, would be like number one on this topic. He was hyped like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just seems to me like Joe Gibbs Racing doesn't really know what to do with their development drivers.
Yeah.
And then when they actually get to Cup, they don't know what to do with them. They're like, all right, you're here, go drive fast.
How fast?
Very. Up until this year, I would have also said Martin Truex.
Yeah.
I mean, his stats still don't show it, or wins wise, but Martin has evolved into his own now. I think finally. What would be your picks for basically the biggest busts?
Huh. Definitely Timmy Hill, Scott Speed, and either David Stremme or Michael McDowell.
I don't know if I'd say Timmy Hill. There wasn't really a lot of hype around him, though.
That's true.
Yeah.
He did win the Rookie of the Year there in the Nationwide Series there a couple of years ago.
Wow.
I believe he was running against Blake Cook.
Ooh. Wasn't that Danica's second part-time year also?
I believe.
So he beat Danica like 30% of the time? What was I going to say? I remember, I would say the biggest one I've seen is Reed Sorensen, because Sorensen, 2005 was the first year that I followed the Busch Series, and Sorensen the entire year was trying to track down Truex and won a bunch of races, and I was like, oh man, this guy's good, and then 2006 happened, and then nothing. And then 2007, and now he's kind of just over.
I think I've touched on this before in previous episodes. One thing that really baffles me is 2011, I believe, 2011, when he was in the Nationwide Series for Turner Scott in the 32.
Yeah.
He was leading the points, and then...
Or no, he was second in points, but he was like the only guy who could catch... Or he was like second or third in points, and he was one of the only guys who could catch Stenhouse. And then, and then go ahead.
Yeah, and then I don't know what the story was, if he got fired or if
it was Turner Scott said they wanted to downsize to I think 2 or 3 cars, and for some reason he was the odd man out.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't.
I think it was sponsorship reasons, but the fact that they fired him before the season was even over was just bizarre.
Yeah, and then he went
Yeah,
to this horrible team.
yeah. I think another
Some
good, uh,
dots or something.
yeah, another good one would be Scott Riggs,
Oh
because
yeah.
Riggs in 2002 and 2003 in the Busch Series looked so good. And it's not to say he did bad in the 10 car. I mean, the 10 car in the Cup Series was never that great of a car. He went to Evernham, had a good season in 2006, and then I think we talked about Ray Evernham and Aaron Crocker became whatever, and then Riggs was kind of left out, and Evernham was like, whatever, I don't care about race car, I'm getting laid, and then, yeah. And then that whole team fell apart, and that ruined Scott Riggs' career.
Yeah.
And he's never recovered from that. And that still upsets me because I like Scott Riggs.
Yeah. Too bad Haas didn't keep Riggs after 2008.
Yeah,
They could have
lame.
fit him in with Stuart Haas.
Yeah, him with Stuart Haas would have been good, but Tony was like, nope, we need Ryan Newman. And I was like, but Scott Riggs? No.
Yeah,
What
if
was
you
the
look
other
at
one?
Gene Haas before Stewart was nothing.
Yeah. They had Hendrick cars and like, right, we got these really good race cars. We have no idea what to do with them.
Yeah, pretty much. Like they had drivers like, well, obviously Riggs. They had Mayfield. They had Sauter. They had
Jeff
yeah,
Green, Mike
yeah,
Bliss.
yeah.
Jeff Green's a good pick for that too. I was reading
Yeah.
his biography yesterday.
Oh really?
Yeah, he won the Busch Series championship in 2000, I think, by the biggest margin ever up until 2006.
Oh wow.
Finished second in 2001 in the championship, and then he moved up to Cup part-time. Oh, there, Cat. Anyway, moved up to Cup full-time in 2002 and looked promising in 2002, and then he got in a fight with Kevin Harvick in 2003 and got fired. And then Petty Enterprises and the 43 car happened, and that career black hole. And
Yeah,
then, yeah,
yeah. I remember 2000. I've probably once again I've probably mentioned this before, but the only race he ever won that season was the race that Mark Martin pulled into pit road under yellow flag with two to go.
I think
Or
you're
one
thinking
to
of his
go.
brother David Green. And
Really?
that was like 1996.
You think?
Yeah, yeah, because Jeff Green won like 5 races that year. He was driving the Nesquik number 10 car.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that was the other Green brother.
yeah. Well, did David Green win that season?
Yeah, he
That
won the
championship?
championship that year.
Yeah, that's the season I'm thinking of.
Yeah, and what's funny about that is Green didn't win any other races that year. So if Mark Martin didn't do that, he probably would have won the championship without winning any races.
Yeah.
Um, trying to think of another good one. I hate to say it, but Ricky Stenhouse looks like one right now.
Hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I don't
Trevor
think
Bay.
it's all. Well, Bane really hasn't. Well, hmm.
It might be
Trevor
a little
Bane's
different.
Yeah, Trevor Bane's tricky because he's been hyped a little bit, but he doesn't really have anything to prove in the lower series other than a
Yeah,
couple wins. Yeah.
yeah,
I don't necessarily think it's Bane and Stenhouse's fault, but Roush is also pretty bad. So,
yeah.
and who's another good bust?
What about Casey Mears? He got a win in 2007 and then like never did anything.
Yeah, Casey Mears is one of the big what ifs because if you look at from 2005 to 2010, he had like 6 different cars and crew chiefs. And
Yeah.
so every year he would start off slow, and then by the end of the year they'd be really solid, and then he'd change crew chiefs or something like that, and then be back to square one. So like, if you remember 2005, he was running really good at the end of that year, and like I remember him leading a ton of laps at the end of Homestead, and almost winning that race. And then they moved him over to the 42 team and gave him a new crew chief, and they started off slow, and then by the end of the year he was running good again, and then he moved to Hendrick, and the beginning of 2007 was a disaster, and then he was running like consistently top 10 towards the end of the year, and then they changed his crew chief again, and then same thing happened again in 2008, and then he got released and then went to RCR and then had a new team and a new crew chief, and then the same thing where he started to get solid towards the end of the year, and then he got released again. And now that he's found a solid team that with stability, and he's got a good crew chief and Booty Barker, that we're starting to see maybe not the driver that Mears could be, but we're starting to see his consistency that he can do.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, Mears was. I would put him in that category, but not of his own doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
Yeah,
is a
like he
shame.
was 20th in points here a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Hendrick should totally get rid of Casey Kane and pick up Casey Mears again, because that
Oh,
would be
yeah.
cool. He'd probably run better.
Robbie Gordon.
Casey Kane's a good pick for that category too. And it's funny because I used to always think I'm like, no, Casey Kane's been good, but he's had like a good season if you really
Yeah.
think about it.
Yeah.
2004, he looked good, but he didn't make the chase. 2005 was a disaster. 2006 was like his one good year, and then you had 2008 or 2007 and 2008. He missed the chase. I mean, he did win 2 races 2008, but he still missed the chase.
Yeah.
2009 was all right. They made the chase, and 10 and 11 missed it. 12. Okay, you know what? 3 good seasons because 2012 was all right.
Yeah.
And 2013 and last year were just disasters.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
2013, where did he finish in points then?
He started good, but then the chase hit, and then they finished, I think, dead last in the chase.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
The only thing is, I don't know if you can really say he's a total bust because if you look at all his stats, every 2.7 races, he's averaging a top 10. That's not bad.
Yeah, he's got good numbers, but like those good numbers have come from a few good
Yeah.
seasons.
Yeah.
So, if anything, he showed a lack of motivation on anything.
Yeah.
All you have to do is go back to, I think I've said this before, 2013, the fall Bristol race, where he'd been beat by Matt Kenseth twice already. He'd been wrecked by Gibbs cars a bunch of times during the year. He's got the faster car. He's closing in on Matt Kenseth. All he has to do is just move him out of the way to win, and he doesn't.
Mm.
Yeah.
That right there kind of showed that he's just got no motivation right now. And I don't dislike Casey Kane, but like he's wasting away good equipment.
Yeah.
Well, he's also like the 4th car. And I mean,
Yeah.
how can you compete with Junior, Jimmy Johnson, and Jeff Gordon? Obviously,
Yeah.
they're more popular and they're going to get better equipment.
Yeah, he's kind of like I don't want to say the odd man out, but you've got, a 6-time champion, a 4-time champion, the most popular driver in NASCAR, and
Yeah.
Casey Kane.
Yeah. Hendrick's 4th car has always been that way, so.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a year where all 4 cars were good. And
2012, really.
2013 maybe.
yeah, I think you could say 2012. I mean, Gordon didn't struggle, but he had a lot of bad luck that year.
Yeah, I guess.
You could say that.
2009. Oh, wait, never mind.
No. 2007, they were, other than, well, no, Casey Mears struggled at the beginning of the year, but I mean, they all won races that year.
Yeah. Yeah, 2009, it was Johnson, Martin, Gordon, 1, 2, 3 in points, and then Junior, like 21st. Woo!
Yeah, represent. I'm thinking 2006 comes to mind, maybe. They all won races, and Vickers barely missed the chase, or not barely, but was close to the chase.
Yeah.
That's the only one that yeah, Hendrick's never been able to field 4 good cars, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe we stretched the show to an hour. We did it.
Yes.
Do we have anything else to add?
Uh,
Really, we got off topic with a new topic.
We could just change it up mid-show.
Yeah.
whatever happened to Kevin Conway? He was like, he was obviously terrible, but he got the Rookie of the Year because everyone else was bad, and then like no one wanted him.
He's actually been running in some sports car series that runs. He drives like Lamborghinis in some sports car series, and he's won like 2 straight championships or something like that.
Wow,
I was like, what? Yeah, I didn't believe it when somebody first told me. I looked it up and it was like Kevin Conway, 2013 champion. I was like, wow, that is,
that's weird.
huh? Yeah.
And I believe he's running in the Super Stadium Truck Series with Robbie Gordon or whatever it's called.
Is he?
Rally
I,
World?
No, they run like Baja trucks, but on indoor short courses, and that's what
Hmm.
Robbie Gordon does. Huh? I did not know that. I know that's what Justin Lofton is doing.
yeah. And Travis Pastrana has done some of them too.
Oh, speaking of draft busts, how about him? Holy crap, that was a disaster.
It was.
Oh,
Or what about Colin Braun?
yeah, Colin Brown too. Although Roush kind of shafted him, but you
Yeah,
can look at any of the Roush development drivers: David Reagan, Todd Cleaver, Colin Brown, uh, Eric Darnell,
yeah.
just about everybody. Yeah. So, shall we move into the Q&A portion of the show for all 0 of our viewers?
Is
If
there
there are any questions,
We
let me
had
see
a
if there's
viewer back at like the first minute.
yeah. Let me see if there's any questions that we didn't answer from last week.
we should really try to get on a good schedule for when we're doing these,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but we couldn't help Wednesday from your internet.
Wait, did we answer what are Danica's chances of winning?
I don't
I
know.
don't think we did.
There's 2 questions here that we didn't answer. That's it. It's how do you think Clint Boyer will fare in these final 3 races? He's running pretty well, so I mean, it's now 2 races.
Hmm.
And what are Danica Patrick's chances of winning? Because we answered all the other ones because we went 45 minutes longer than we were supposed to last week. Usually we go an hour. We went an hour and 45.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Danica's chances of winning, if everybody else crashes 2012 style at Talladega, then yes, she can win.
I don't know. I could see her winning at tracks somewhat like Kansas or Atlanta, maybe.
Atlanta, I think she's got a good chance.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, didn't she finish top 5 in Atlanta last year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it was
Or
Or
like
just outside the top
top
5?
10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
6, maybe.
Yeah.
She got
I
10th
remember
earlier, I think, this year.
yeah, maybe in a place like Martinsville too. She runs really good there.
I was just gonna say Martinsville or yeah.
Yeah. I remember reading through the forums, like of all what people were posting during Atlanta during that race, and everybody's like, "Dude, Danica might actually win this," and I was like, "What? The internet will explode."
Yeah, that'd be. I'd love
Yeah,
to see it, though, to be honest.
yeah.
Mm.
I bag on Danica a lot, but that's because I want her to be successful. So,
Yeah, that could bring in a fan,
Fan.
more of a fan.
a fan, just one,
Yeah, just one.
just one fan, but yeah.
Yep.
Oh man, there's nothing to talk about. We're struggling. We're trying, people. I'm sorry.
If only we had a bigger fan base.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Hopefully. Oh, did you tell Matt how much money we've made off these yet?
Oh, we've made like $1, haven't we?
I thought it was 28
Nice.
cents.
What? Oh yeah, yeah. It was like 20 cents. Let me do.
You can go
Hang on, let me
buy
go back to
like
my.
go buy a 20th of a diecast car.
Yeah, I was gonna say we can buy a Skittle.
Yeah, but we all split it up, so
Yeah. Oh, where is it? I gotta find it. Yeah, we've made like 18 cents so far off the podcast.
I thought it was 28 or something.
It's something incredibly small.
Yeah.
Let's see, analytics. I would screen share this, but I don't want you people to see how much money I've made off YouTube. Oh my god, YouTube, you're so slow. Or maybe it's my internet.
Yeah, I
Ad
wish I
per
was
her.
off YouTube.
Estimated earnings. Oh, did anybody else see the YouTube glitch? Riley, I think I was telling you about this, where I think it was last week. If you went into your analytics, it said you got minus however many subscribers you have. So it said I lost 480 subscribers,
Oh,
but my total was still at 480. I was like, oh yeah. All right, Deal with It podcast. 15. It's made 18 cents so far.
Woo!
Yeah, we're making all the money.
Hey, that's 18 of 1 cent bubblegum.
That is true. Yes,
nice.
you could buy. You know what? I'm gonna Google what can I buy for 18 cents. And I'm gonna screen share this with you guys. Here we go. Screen share. There we go. Inception. Oh god, I broke the internet. Oh, what have I done? Just kidding. Anyway,
What?
what can I buy for 18 cents?
Oh my god.
1 cent items on Amazon. Here we go. That is not under. That's $8.
If you look at it,
That is.
when we first started these podcasts, we had a good schedule, like every Thursday, and then like we were getting over 100 views, and then the last couple are like,
It's been kind of hectic recently with my work and my school schedules and my internet being terrible.
yeah,
We'll get back on track eventually.
hopefully.
Hopefully. Yeah. Do we have anything else to add? Should we just wrap the show up?
Did
I'm
you guys
hungry.
did you guys see what happened with Brendan Gaughan?
No, what happened?
Well, it wasn't like happened, I guess, but they did an interview about whether or not he wanted his kids to race as well, and possibly have him like support them in some way, like being a crew chief or something.
Huh.
And he said that he wants them to race in the desert like his brothers and his father did, but he doesn't want them driving go-karts.
Oh, like Baja racing?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know what I just realized?
What?
What?
We managed to get Brendan Gaughan into this week's show.
Yes. Oh wait,
Matt, you are our MVP. What?
we have to talk about Ricky Stenhouse's mullet.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think one of these days we're gonna. I need to make a logo for this show where it's just like if I can draw really poorly done cartoon versions of me, you, and Colin, and then like our guests, but like, and then all of us have Ricky Stenhouse's mullet, and then the picture just says Mullet Militia. I've had that thought in my head for a while.
That'd be funny.
So like Colin is wearing Kyle Busch's fire suit, and you have Jeff Gordon's, and I have Junior's, and then Matt and I can twin, and then yeah, it'll be perfect. Anyway, shall we wrap up the show?
With shamelessly plugging our channels.
Of course.
Wait, are we gonna do picks?
Matt, what race is even this week? I'm so out of the loop.
Darlington, right? Yeah.
Oh, it's right. Darlington, right.
I like
Picks.
that race. It's good.
Darlington isn't this weekend.
Is it?
There is no cup race this weekend.
Is it
Is it
really?
really?
Oh, that's sad.
Ellington.
Oh, that's sad.
Ellington
Yeah. Well, I know trucks are racing a Mosport this week, so truck picks
and Xfinity are racing at Road America.
and Xfinity picks. I'm gonna go trucks. I can't pick Imran Kuroga because he doesn't race anymore.
Sadly.
I'm still upset about last year's finish. He was so close. Um, trucks. Come back to me on trucks. I'm gonna pick Brendan Gaughan for a two-peat. Screw it.
Brendan
It
Gaughan.
never works when I pick Brendan Gaughan, but it always works when Colin does. So I'm picking him anyway.
B- b- b-
Did I tell you how much bullshit that was? I picked Brendan Gaughan as my pick for Indy just because, and he ran top 10 and then he had a bad finish. Colin picked Brendan Gaughan and he finished second at Iowa. I was like, God, I hate you so. Why are you so good at this? He just picks the most rant. So like when he picked Kyle Busch every week, Kyle Busch won 3 races in a row. The one time I got to pick Eric Jones, he picked Spencer Gallagher, and Jones got spun out of the final restart, and Gallagher got a top 5 out of it, and he won that pick. And then
No, I won that because I got
no,
Sauter.
no, you had Crafton, didn't you?
No, I had Sauter.
Did you?
The race whenever, yeah, it was at Pocono.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you had Crafton for Pocono.
No, I had Sauter, and he
Oh.
had Gallagher got like 8th, and Sauter got like 6th or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you picked Crafton and then I picked Jones and then they both wrecked and then he picked Gallagher and Gallagher goes on to freaking get it. And then there was Indy where I was like, oh, he left early. I'll just pick Daniel Suarez for him because that's basically it's the 18 car. And then Suarez finished third and Brendan
Yeah.
Gaughan finished like 18th and I was like, I hate my life so much right now. Ugh.
Oh,
He's so good at fantasy picks and I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm really bad at them. Anyway, Brendan Gaughan's going to win the Xfinity race. It's my pick. Who do you want to pick? One of you guys can go first. I don't care. I'm not keeping track of it anyway.
Riley, you can go.
what?
You can go.
Trucks. I'm gonna have to go with Sauter. Xfinity. If JJ Yaley's driving the 28th, then JJ Yaley.
I think he is. It's usually what he drives, so.
I'm going with Yaley.
Alright. Swear to God, if Yaley wins this one, I'm going to be so bittersweet. I'll say that.
Top 5 there last year.
That's true.
The trucks, I'm going with Tyler Reddick.
No,
And Xfinity, I have to go with Daniel Suarez. He just got a 5th place.
That's a solid pick. Who should I pick for trucks?
Norm Benning.
Norm Theft Auto.
That's a good one.
Man, is Custer running this week?
I think so.
Alright, I'm gonna.
Hmm.
I kind of want to just do something out of left field.
I think you want Jennifer Joe Cobb here.
I think I do. Ooh. Yeah, I'm gonna pick Cole Custer. Yeah, he ran this race last year, so. And if he's
Yeah.
not, then I don't know. I'll make it up as I go along because I'm gonna lose anyway. So. Anyway, Matt, what's coming up on your channel and where can we find you on social media?
So you can find me, Matt L. Again, my NASCAR website, NASCARRaceRevy.uclz.com. As for what's on my channel, I did work on my next race. It's going pretty well. It should be up, I'm hoping, by the end of next week. So that'll be fun to look forward to. Other than that, I guess that's pretty much it.
All right then. And I'll have the link to his channel and his website below. Riley, what do we have for you?
Well, obviously you can find me under Riley Wade on YouTube. Martinsville's going well. Lap, I don't know, 16 or 17 out of 20. I know I said I was hoping to finish it a couple days ago, but I'm thinking maybe I'll end up getting it finished by like Tuesday, and then have it up on like Wednesday or Thursday. Probably Wednesday. You can find me on Instagram under, I don't know what it is, I forget.
They'll be below, so I'll just copy and paste it from last week.
Yeah, it'll be below in the description, and yeah, my Snickers Cup series on YouTube, in Instagram, I guess on Instagram, but in the basketball retards, we just uploaded a new video there the other day. It was we were really lazy with how we were filming with that one. My brother had his friend over for like, obviously, we filmed this back in like July, and it took forever to do because they were both being so lazy. So we just, screw it. And so we just thought of, let's just do a basketball short. So we only did like 4 shots or so, and then yeah. And we were gonna do another challenge. It was gonna be butterscotch pudding with onions and ranch dressing mixed. It was
Ew.
gonna be but this was whenever I had Warren over, but Warren didn't want to do it because he didn't want to be on camera. And then, but my brother's friends were gonna do it, but then they were like, "No, I'm not doing that. That's gross." Yeah.
I can't say I blame them, so.
Yeah.
But we were like, "That's no idea. You're supposed to throw up."
Ew. Why would you want to do that?
You wouldn't believe the amount of fame people get from YouTube off that.
I don't. For what, though? Oh, congrats. People saw your viral video. Now, how are you going to make a career out of that? Anyway, is that everything?
Pretty much.
Okay. You know where to find me. If you're watching this video, you've found my channel. If not, welcome. So, Makita Trucksters Race 2 eventually will be completed. No timeline on that yet. I'm just really lazy. And I've been busy recently, so everything on my real life car broke, so that's where all my time and money's going, so anything to expect on my channel. I will probably eventually do retro diecast reviews. Again, no timeline on that because I'm lazy and I'm been busy, and that requires doing a diecast review actually good is kind of hard. So yeah, especially with the retro ones, because I like to do research on the history of the car and the driver and whatnot, and actually have something to say other than it's cool. So, my alternate channel, Minecraft Cube, you know where to find that. I just uploaded the hour-and-a-half long special, The Banning Saga Part 2, of why one of the people was kicked off our channel and never allowed on Skyblock. So, if you've got an hour and a half of free time, if you just want to listen to that in the background, it's pretty interesting because I get really pissed off by the end of it. So, yeah. So that's fun. Although I'm not saying you have to watch the entire thing. But anyway, I would have edited it down, but I was like, this is an hour and a half of footage. This is going to take really long to edit through.
Yeah.
Screw it. Just put it all together. Just put titles at the beginning and the end. Obviously, you can find me on Instagram with the unofficial Bay. My Facebook page is below if you want to follow my page that I don't update ever, although when I start posting videos, I'll probably put them on there. If you want to add me on Steam, my username is also the unofficial Bay if you want to find me there. And do I have anything else to shamelessly plug? I don't know. I might be doing some Minecraft collaborations with other people on my other channel. I can't guarantee that yet, so if you enjoy idiocy and building things, check out that channel. And if you like watching toy cars move around, watch this channel. And that's about it. Anything else to add?
Not that I can think of now.
No.
Matt?
No.
Well, somehow we managed to stretch the show almost into an hour and a half. We did it. Google Hangouts, high five. There we go. Perfect. We'll edit that together in post. We'd like to thank you again for being on the show, Matt. You've been a great guest as always, and yeah, I guess we'll see you next time.